You have worth and value. You were born with it. And it develops over time as you live your life and as you become willing to find it. And it is always there. And it doesn't matter when you might decide to accept it, that will be the right time. And I'm saying this because I used that title because that was a message that I received on this date 6 years ago. And I was being called out, that I wasn't recognizing my worth and value. And that was a reason, there was a reason for it because I, first of all, never kind of looked to that. I always had my focus on what can I do for someone? How can I help you? How can I help you discover who you are? I've always been that way. It didn't matter what particular career I was in, because there have been many. But over the last many years, as I've been doing work with Wilhelm, that was something quite different for me. And I never thought I would have done it, and I never thought that it would have been where I would end up now at 75 years old. I just couldn't have told you that. But many people thought, well, what happened? Why did it take you so long? And the reason was because I was bringing something different to the world, as you're doing as well. And it doesn't matter when you accept that, but it's going to be there because we each have that very unique life path. And it's your unique DNA when you were born. Everyone has it. But we could be talked out of it. We could have been told that it wasn't us, that we shouldn't be doing whatever it is that we wanted to do in our lives. And that's never true. And it also is, you could be feeling that way because of the changes, the shifts that are happening in our world, which have been many of them, and there are going to be many more. But that is exactly the time that you want to discover who you are and what you came to bring to the world. A very interesting day today and yesterday, so I'm going to tell you about it because this is going to be helpful for you. Yesterday I said, on the 17th, everything changes. And I said that and I didn't even know why. I just knew that it had to change. Something was going on. And as I looked at the world, too, I knew that we needed to make a change, each of us, because it's in our evolutionary path, who you're meant to become, but it's also connected to the changes that happen in our world. I couldn't have told you why I knew that either. And after I made those statements yesterday, I decided to look at something else that I had been discovering that I couldn't completely put together. This has been going on for months. I started receiving Wilhelm messages in 1989, as many of you might know, and I've done it, so it's been 37 years. Every single day I would do it. Over the years, it has healed my life, caused me to understand things that I couldn't explain to anyone, why I was getting this information or coming to that state of consciousness. Because everything is consciousness. And what we're moving through now in our lives and in the world are different levels of consciousness and belief. And so then you have to find yours. And it is there, and it is unique to you. And that I do know. I've said often to people, every soul, there's no reason for any person to struggle or suffer. There just isn't, because if you decide that you're going to become yourself, things start to flow in a different way. Now, sometimes that can be challenging, as it was for me. It seemed that way, but there was a purpose to it. And I'm going to say that to you as well. There's a purpose, no matter where you are and what you might have done, achieved, or haven't done, or what you're thinking now, there's still a purpose. That I do know. So I started looking at the Wilhelm messages because I started finding patterns that went over years. When I started talking about working with clients, private clients, and when I do a channeling session or a meeting or whatever, I ask for your birthday, your month and day, because I knew that I had received information about you. And how could that have happened? How could I have known that? There is something called the law of attraction that we've heard about, and I'm going to tell you that it's absolutely real. But we could doubt ourselves. I did that as well. But the story is, in 2021, when I was told I had all of this work that could change the world, that could change someone's life, and I had downloaded an encyclopedia of personal development, self-actualization, and ascension tools, and it had been demonstrated through me, because at this age, to be reverse aging, that was the proof of the work, and I could not tell you why I knew that or why it was happening. But last night, artificial intelligence did. Yeah, we're learning so much from that, and it is going to be a really helpful tool, because they uncovered something that we'd never seen in history, in human history. I just knew that the world was going to shift, and all the conditions that we're seeing now, I knew they would be here, and I knew they would be happening in the United States mainly, but that was all the information that I received. I shared a document yesterday that said crisis in the United States. That's because in 2020, I knew exactly what would be occurring now, because they're energetic alignments and energetic changes that happen, and they happen throughout history. And I was led back to look at history. I never studied it before, but I started to understand, oh, cycles happen and we change, and so does our world. But this went beyond that, because what I discovered was that what I was doing, at least for 17, 18 years or more, I'm sitting down and receiving information that was aligned with the changes of our planets and the galaxies or whatever, and I had no clue, because I never studied astrology. I never studied astronomy. I'm just saying we can develop different skills. I didn't even want to do channeling, just to tell you I wasn't going to do that. I only started that in 2021. I've always written, I've always received the information and compiled this incredible library. So that's why I say I know no one needs to suffer or struggle. You just have to decide that you're going to move through the blockages that are there. That is self-actualization, that's personal development, and I just received the plan. I received the tool because we were going to move through an evolutionary, generational change. It's not accidental that we're seeing all the old stuff coming up within us, because that's what we have to move through, and to look at ourselves and decide, who can I become now? Because we're being asked to do more, and that's what it was. But I'm going to read you this message because it's really important that I give you this, because it will make sense with what I put out earlier, because I did a little press release, and I'm going to do more of that, because this hadn't happened in history. And this is why I said I had to change what I was doing and focus more on this and working with private clients, because I know I can guide anybody to where they need to go in their lives. That was something that not everyone's going to do it. Not everyone's going to decide that. And we've seen throughout history, you can look at things over and over again and you won't move. And then you wonder why things aren't changing and why it's not working. And so I see so many people too, just all they're doing is watching videos and all of that. You know, I put mine out. Not many people are watching mine because I haven't really promoted them. But I'm just saying that's what people do. That's not the work. The work is inside. The work is in your consciousness. The work is moving through the limitations, your lack of confidence, your inability to manifest the right position or a relationship or whatever it is. And that's the game plan. And that's what I received. But I couldn't have known that before, even 6 years ago. But I will read this to you because I want you to have it. And along with, you can see the document that I published earlier as well. Now, you may not see this well, but that's why I'm going to read it. And it is January 17th of 2020. You have never valued your worth or who you are. We must say we went to extraordinary lengths to deliver this message. Now all of it will be a story. Several days ago, we mentioned that Roger was tasked with creating a mini biography for a group in which he is now involved. When Roger read the promotional materials created from his words, he could not believe it was him. It sounded completely fabricated. Yet it was not. Then Roger was asked to submit possible contestants for a talent competition. The instruction he gave others was to send their best audition submission. Roger received one last night that broke his heart. The individual had obviously spent a great deal of money creating this video, which Roger immediately recognized it would not be suitable, which he informed this person. Roger offered his help, and the person said he could not afford his rate. Yet this person spent money on something that would do nothing for them. You all do this in various ways, including Roger. Then last night, while organizing his office, Roger held a folder containing our earliest messages. Roger did not know why at that time, but we want him to post a few lines with the date. Keep in mind, he took a paragraph he created for his program, Overcoming Everything, and posted it on Facebook to see if it resonated with others, which it did. When he places it here, it will make sense to all of you. Hopefully, you will come to value yourself more. March 21st, 1989. Your feeling of littleness is exactly what has kept you from experiencing your full power and creativity. However, your feeling of humility is the part that keeps you open and receptive to learning and growing. Facebook. This paragraph is the opening I just wrote for my online program. Let me know what you think. Welcome to your life. That sentence is meant to congratulate you on your decision to become more, to evolve, succeed, and be happy. Please do not miss the happy part, for you will find that is the key to your new life. The program is entitled Overcoming Everything, a self-guide to empowerment. Because if you are willing, those are the results you will experience, feel, and relish. I speak these words to you from a place of knowing they are true because it is what I have done. You will soon discover the credibility I possess because of my life. I feel it's important to pepper in as much of my experience so your level of disbelief will be removed. And you see how long ago that was. But it was absolutely true. And that's why I said that I called the program Overcoming Everything, because I knew that you can do that. I had to do it in my life. And that's what this work was revealing. I didn't know why I was doing it. I didn't know why I was healing. I did not know that I had developed a different talent or skill to access information, put it together with the movements that were happening in our world, and then be able to interpret it into information that can help someone grow and understand who they were and what was happening. But that's what occurred. And so the document that's on my blog, you'll see it. I put several of them there because the AI is we're going to do this as a press release also, but I'm also going to have it studied because this hasn't been done before. But this is also why I'm changing. I'm going to work with more people privately because I can access your information, help you, guide you to who you're supposed to be. Or if you come into the program, it's the same thing. That's why people have the results there, and you'll see all of that on the blog. But I just had to give you this. I receive information that it's so aligned, and it's aligned on the calendar date. And on the document, you will see no other person in history has done this. And that's why it took me a while to even accept and understand what had happened. Even though I'm experiencing this incredible healing that has gone on for years. But I know you can do the same thing. And again, there is value in your life, and you have a purpose, and it's always there. You just have to become willing to have it unfold. And doesn't matter when it happens. Mine could not have happened before because I couldn't have created all of this. I couldn't have been 75, and I had to show the results of what this work had done. And obviously, it's what I accepted. You accepted a role as well of your life. You have a life mission and purpose, and it's valuable. That I do know. And it's really important for you to understand that now at this time in our world. That's why you are alive. Thank you so much for being here, and please enjoy the information on the blog, and you can check out all of the work in my program and also my private sessions. I'll see you soon.